Hey there, I'm Rod Bergeron, and today we're going to go through a quick little tutorial on painting Expressionism. If you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. So here you'll see I'm working on a book cover, and that's the basis of what it is that I'm working here. It's got a green background, and so I thought it would be quite useful for what it was that I wanted to do. It's sort of a textured surface too. And you can find these old books for free or almost free at any public library, lots of book sales, and they really have a great texture to them. So here you see I've put on a little bit of white and a little bit of purple, and I put a little bit of red color up in the corner. And that's just because that's what it was I was thinking about at the time. It's the color that I had out. And I wasn't really thinking about, when I paint Expressionism, I guess I'm thinking about a garden scene, but I wasn't necessarily thinking about a particular flower. I wasn't necessarily thinking about a particular landscape. I was just sort of letting it flow and putting some intuitive lines and some intuitive color on the page just to get me started, and then allowing all of that to sort of flow out into whatever it was going to become. And you'll see here I'm just intuitively making some marks on the page. I really don't have a plan at this point. I know this is going to be a garden-like scene. I had just come in from my garden actually, and I had been looking at some irises, and I had been looking at some hollyhocks that were growing. And you'll see quite often here I work right from the tube. So I'm taking that tube of paint, that white, titanium white, and I'm just putting it right onto the page. And sometimes you lose some of the stuff that you had already had on there, but I'm just going instinctively with what it is that I think. And you see I just wet my fingers there, and I'm back at finger painting and blending some colors and stuff in here. And it's okay to lose what you previously had on there. And you'll see here I'm like, okay, so I don't like that. I just grabbed the tissue and I just blend it around, and it looks sort of like a mess, but I'm just going with that mess. I'm just going with what's on the page. And so this is sort of, for me, painting Expressionism is sort of not that far away from painting intuitively. But you see here, I decided to make some more marks on the page that were more closely related to the garden scene that I had just seen, or I had just been experiencing, I guess. So I'm putting, I have some new paper towels I'm getting out here because my previous ones have been, I had used, I'm cleaning off my pencil there. So you see I was drawing into the paint with the pencil. And this paint is starting to harden up quite a bit here. This is an acrylic, this is Sennelier that I was using. So now I'm going back into this with a paintbrush and some blue. And I'm just putting in some background color right now. You see, I'm just trying to get some background for some of the leaves of the irises. Again, I'm painting very intuitively. I'm using a big, huge Brold, well, not huge. For me, this is kind of a small brush, but I'm using a fairly large brush. I'm using my finger when I can, and I'm, just blending the paint right on the page. And I think that's sort of the key to Expressionism is, it's about expressing yourself. It's about putting things on the page in an expressive manner, which sometimes are very loose, uncontrolled. And that's where I'm going with this. I'm doing this very loosely. I'm trying to not control it too much. However, I would say the end of your index finger is about as much control as you can get. It might not be fine control. In other words, it's not as small as, say, a #1 round brush, but it's still probably as close to as much control as we as humans can get. I'm cleaning the end of my finger off because I'm probably thinking about a different color. So I'm thinking about red, and I'm going to start putting some of these flowers in. And just like that, it just, it instantly sort of becomes floral as soon as you pick up that red on your finger and you start putting some red dots on the page. And so I'm going back here and I'm getting out another color. I think I'm getting out white. Yeah, I'm getting out titanium white. And there was a big iris that it's sort of white, and it has a little sort of a bluish mauve dot on the inside of this thing. And you'll see there I picked just that much. And that's sort of exactly how I was thinking about this iris. I was thinking it had this little blue speck on the inside of it. And yeah, so this is some mauve. And you'll see here I picked up a stick. And I think this is actually salmon pink or something like that. And I picked up a stick and I'm putting a little bit of color on the inside of, these were peonies I think that I was looking at in my garden. It doesn't have to be any particular flower, it's just, it's expressionism. Anyways, that's it. If you enjoyed this, please click like. If you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot.